Hello, my peeps. Happy Friday afternoon. It is Tracey Stewart here, your friendly neighborhood paper pusher, trying to get the YouTube comments to come up. And they're not. Okay, so I guess it was worth the wait. Because you always love a sale. So yes, we are an hour later today. On Tuesday, when we get every Tuesday, demos get their weekly updates. And this Tuesday, all it said was, "We've got a big announcement coming on Friday," and that was it. So I've been waiting all morning for this thing, thinking they didn't give a time. I hate when they don't give a time. It's coming, right? And it wasn't, and it wasn't, it wasn't. So a lot of stuff gets released at 1 o'clock. So then the general consensus of demos was it's going to come at 1 o'clock, and sure enough, at 1 o'clock they posted it. So the big exciting news was there's a sale. So a seasonal sale, and this is like year 13 for me on being a demonstrator. And even though this is the year where they're changing a whole bunch of different things in their release lines and stuff's tweaking, they're always trying to better their best. So there's always lots of, if this isn't working, let's try this, or what's an easier way we can do this, or what's a better way we can get things to people. And so even with lots of changes, there are certain things that are predictable. Christmas is busy, and at a certain point, people just stop buying stuff because then it's too late, and now they've moved on to the next thing. So I kind of figured that whatever sale we were going to have, it was likely going to kick in next week, possibly the week after. So there's a bunch of stuff's going to go boom, 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 all coming up in the next couple months. This is the first. So next week, on the 14th to the 16th, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, there is a seasonal sale. So everything on the annual catalog. Yeah, smart person would have had catalogs somewhere nearby to show you. I apparently am not a smart person because I don't see my catalogs. Okay, well, let's just go with the fact that the big, thick annual catalog is what the sale is on. So there is 10% off ribbons and trims, 15% off inks, and 20% off papers. Now, that's not like the big bundles of inks. That's, ink pads. And I would think markers and refills and stuff would fall in that category too. So this is perfect. When all those new colors came out, like every year we get 5 in colors, but this year they did a color refresh. So now we have all those other inks and blends and things. I will be buying a whole bunch of blends because I go through them like crazy because I love them. And I'm pretty sure those will be in the 15% off thing. These ribbons and trims, there's some nice ones. This little one here you can't quite see very well, I don't think, but I can never make things focus. Oh, look at me go. Natural trim, I can't remember what it's called. I love it. So there's certain things that you want to stock up on. Papers, who doesn't? I mean, you can always use papers. Who doesn't like 20% off that? So here's here's the two things. And I didn't get as far as making a poster because I was looking for a die because I was trying to finish the one card because the other card was frustrating me, and it was the whole thing. So Tuesday at midnight, I'll be putting an order in. I don't like when things run out. I'm there the first possible moment. So group order Tuesday at midnight. Wednesday, Thursday. So if you have a big enough order, or if enough people are ordering, I will just put in orders. But if not, probably Thursday about supper time. If people need time to think about it, or if there's any last minute, or you buy some and then you decide what's more. So these are probably next week's group orders. I will post when I'm done here. I will post a link to my store so that if you want to go on midnight on Tuesday and see the sale prices and see what it is and put in your own order, you could do that. That's easy. As soon as you click on it and put it in the cart, or I think actually probably as soon as you bring it up, it will show you the sale price. So this is what I'm going to do for next week. Because like I said, I'll be for sure ordering blends. I might order papers because I'm always out of papers. I've been going through papers like crazy lately. Holy, I've been crafting up a storm. So yeah, let me know if you want anything, you have any questions. Now, the following week is American Thanksgiving. So that has an effect on shipping and production and stuff. Most of this stuff, it might slow down because there'll be a lot of people buying all at once. But I would think most of this stuff should probably ship out before the Thanksgiving weekend. Because if it doesn't, there's an extra 4 days right there, but it should, I would think. Now, probably just after, possibly before, but just after Thanksgiving, we are going to get the retiring list for the mini catalog. So every time a mini catalog is done, and these ones, they last 4 months at a time and then they go. I don't know, the majority, I was going to say like 90, 95%. I don't know. The majority of the catalog, the stuff in it is done at the end of the sales period, which is, I want to say January 4th. There's usually a handful of things that carry over. My best guess, something like the deckled dies, which I was just using for a bunch of stuff, which I love. These would probably carry over, and they'll probably show up in the next annual catalog as a stock item. These are standalone dies. They don't go with any sets. So certain things will carry over, other things will not. We're going to get that, and then usually there's some of the stuff will go on sale. If they have a lot of stock left in something, they'll usually put that stuff on sale. It's the last chance to get any kind of new bundles with the 10% bundle rate. And so about the beginning of December, that sale usually kicks in, at which point stuff's going to fly off shelves. There's already stuff that's sold out. These lovely little gems, the little stars, were sold out like within an hour, I think, of the catalog opening to customers. The demos had bought just about all of them even before then. They came back in, sold out the same day. They came back in earlier this week. They were all of a sudden back. I sent out a note. I had 3 customers, got the order in really quickly. Got up. Oh, that's right. I did, because I waited up till midnight to order. Went to bed, got up at like 6 or 7 the next morning, went to check and see how the paper was doing, because I'm always curious what sells out fast. And these had already sold out again. And now it turns out they're out of stock. There will be no more. So this, the Halloween bats, the glow in the dark bats, which I have extras of, yay me. Something else. Oh, and the autumn paper. Those are like permanently sold out now. They won't be restocked. Some of the stuff's on low, but all of these different things, point of my ramble, is all of these different things will impact not just what is on sale, but all the stuff around it. Because if I'm waiting to make an order and I need a couple of packs of paper, I'm not necessarily just going to order a couple of packs of paper, but once there's a bunch of stuff, I'll order the other stuff I want. Oh, this is on sale. I'll add in my paper. So the next couple, 3-4 weeks, stock's going to go whoop as people start buying up all what's left in that. And even though this is, like I said, an annual catalog, people will be adding the stuff from the mini orders to it. And then come December, demos get to order the pre-order for the spring catalog, which we get the preview of tomorrow. Tomorrow's our big demo event. We get to see it. We get to see Celebration. There is some good stuff in there. And then we get to start ordering. This is why even now, this is like the best time to get a starter kit and become a demo, is because you just get the pre-orders on everything and discounts on everything. If you order in your starter kit, you could add the sale items and it will be at the sale price into a starter kit. And then as soon as you've ordered your starter kit, you can turn around and start ordering the stuff that we're allowed to pre-order at your 20% off. So yeah, it is win-win. So anyways, lots of stuff, lots of inventory. It's still a good time to, if you want to buy gifts for people, I would think as long as you order by the end of November, it'll probably be here in time for Christmas. Once you start getting into the first, second week of December, now you're taking your chances. I have lots of ideas. Like there's kits that you could buy as gifts, but if you know a crafter and you want to get them an assortment of like adhesives or some of the new tools, like our take your pick tool, when it first came out, it was very standard, but there's been a couple different add-ons for stuff. If you know somebody who likes to craft and doesn't have one of these or the add-ons, they make great gifts. I can help you put together stuff to make little packages if that's what you're looking for. I was going to do that as a, hey, let me help you with your gift shopping this year. But I've been so busy doing the classes and the cards and the things that I didn't get quite that far. But believe me, you give me what this person does, here's my price point. I'll whip you up a gift for them. No problem. So yeah, let me know what you're doing with that. The other thing that is coming up next that we'd like you to register for, because we need registrations ideally I put down here 5th. I'm going to do this. Register and pay by the 4th. By the 4th of December, because on the morning of the 5th of December, midnight on the 5th of December to be quite specific, Tamara and I are going to order the stuff we need to do this for all the people that have registered. So we're having discussions. Yesterday we were in planning mode again. And we're not getting a lot of registrations right now. And I know it's busy, and I know people are right now, you've got like one big hurdle to get through the holiday season between now and then this is after. But from a planning perspective, we need to know sooner than that. So yes, it's dicey in the winter and you never know. The time frame of this was designed to be like 11 to 2 is, heat of the day. So you shouldn't be driving in the dark. It shouldn't be if the roads are a little dicey there, you're always better when the sun hits them, right? So hopefully that's the best thing. But yes, we know that it's possibly that. So what we've been discussing is, if you register and you can't make it, we could do porch pickup. If you register for the note card one, we can't give you stamped images and say, here, put your cards together, but we could probably put the cards together and just send you the cards. So you have all the samples, you get your embellishments, you get your stuff. You just don't get to come in person. The idea behind this, and the best part of this, is between Tamara and I, we will probably have bought 80 or 90% of the catalog. So in order to actually see this stuff and feel it, I think I've told the story before. When these first came out, I only bought one package of them because I knew in the catalog, either by the description or just I could tell by the way they looked, I'm not sure. I knew they were metal, and I wasn't sure how heavy they were, if they were going to be bulky, if I was going to be able to use them or not. Because we have had in the past a couple embellishments that came out that were so heavy they were hard to use on a project. So I only ordered one of them. Now, had I seen them in person at first, I'd ordered 10 of them, because the second time I had the opportunity, I ordered 10 of them. So sometimes it's just to be able to see stuff, to feel it, to see the ribbon, and like ribbon like this ties a beautiful bow. Some of the thicker, stiffer stuff, not so much. But if you're using it in scrapbooking or treat, it's perfect, right? So it's just kind of nice to see stuff. So yeah, I will post the link when I'm done. So I'll have a store link and I'll have a registration link. Click on both, click on the right one, whichever. So yeah, we have $15, gets you in, you get to see everything, you get to be in the I got a couple of fun contests, we got some door prizes, all new product. And you can come and see the stuff and just kind of take pictures. If you're a demo, you can use the pictures in your own business to say, look at all the samples of all the new stuff. And you can actually see the products. You can see how big the dies are, see what the stamps are, all that stuff. Oh my goodness, cute stuff coming. Or if you want to do all of that, plus make 8 make and takes. And actually one of them is not a note card. One of them is going to be a full-size card. But make 8 make and takes and have actual samples of some of the stuff from the catalog. And still be able to do the door prizes and all that other stuff. It's $45. And like I said, we're working on a way to make it so that if you're worried that you want to register, but you may not make it, there is an option. We don't have a to-go option, like we're not mailing stuff all over the country, but if you register to go and you can't make it, I think we'll have a plan for that. It'll be porch pickup. And I guess if porch pickup doesn't work and you want to pay for shipping, then there's shipping. But anyways, let us know in the next week or 2, or I guess maybe that's 3 weeks. Whatever the 4th of December is, that's 3 weeks. I can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's talk about fun stuff. Well, not that that's not fun, but let's talk about cards, because I got a few things to show you and I'm trying to keep this to a half an hour today. I started playing with the Night Divine set. And as much as I love this and the fonts and stuff on it, the dies are the good part. This would be the dies. So to give you an idea of how much I like these dies, I have 2 little clouds that are left. And every other die has been used repeatedly. And I was looking for the one that went with the complimentary thing, but I had a class last night and I was getting ready and I made such a mess of my desk and everything that I don't even know where the other embossing folder is. Yes, I do. There we go. So here's the problem though. There's a die that goes in here because this is a hybrid folder. And this is the one that makes the stars. It is part of the same suite and it is amazing. And I was looking for it, which made me like go way behind because I have, for the life of me, have no idea what I did with it. But these dies, just to give you an idea, as I find some of them and put them back, are these lovely nativity dies. And then part of, yeah, see, what did I do with that other container? That's the problem. Part of the one with the, seriously, I have somehow lost it on my desk. the part with the stars, it also comes with a whole bunch of these extra dies that make all sorts of different things. So instead of trying to find the dies, I'll just show you fun stuff. Okay. Oh, and remember when I was doing this on Wednesday and I said, get out your bag of bones dies. We're making a Christmas card. So these are the bag of bones dies. And I just popped my crypt off. Let's put that back there. And this right here, this little die that makes like a rough edge or grass or I don't know, something. In my case, straw is the only die I actually took out of here. But I thought, how many people are going to sit there and look at these dies and go, what kind of Christmas card are you making? Nightmare Before Christmas? Anyway, so there was card number 1. I was trying different things. These dies are just like, they're beautiful. So they have a silhouette, but look at all the, well, first off, kudos to me because I actually got the stupid thing to focus. Look at all the embossing and like cuts and stuff. Look at how detailed those dies are. They're beautiful. And if I had more time, I was actually going to attempt to watercolor, like just cut one set and watercolor them, but yeah, I ran out of time. But there you can see behind the sentiment is my hay, my straw, and that I use a dye. And I wanted some gold down here, but I wanted it to look like rough and pokey like straw. So I'm like, what do I have that has grass or straw in it? So that's what I did. Anyways, this beautiful paper, it comes in the same suite. And oh, it has so much. There's 4 sheets of it. You'll see some as we go. Some of them are more desert scenes, and a lot of them are night sky type pieces. And so you can make a lot of cards with very similar backgrounds, like, and make them like if you want to make your cards look the same. Anyway, here's some of the dies that I use to make the stars. So I have 3 dies layered here, and then one of the embellishments on top. I make it very elaborate stars. Sorry, I just realized my comments still haven't kicked in. I'm hoping they will, but let's just try one more thing. And I don't want to try too many things because, you know, me and technology, I don't want to be kicked out altogether. Let's give that a shot and see. So I'm sorry if you are commenting. I'm just realizing my comments have still not shown up. All right, so there's card number 1. And I also, so you remember 4 or 5 years ago, there was this Night in Bethlehem set, and it had these little dies that went with it. They go together very nicely. And then last year we had sort of a nativity set, and I pre-stamped a whole bunch of stuff before I sold the set. So I have all these little pieces. So as I was making my samples, I did just kind of like grab this and grab that. And so I noticed like some of my sentiments are not actually current, but I like the way they look. So sorry, you won't be able to get all of them. This is one of them. This one drove me nuts because I saw this and I'm like, oh, this fits perfectly. And then I went to the Night of Bethlehem set thinking it was from the retired set. No, it was from a totally different set that had retired. So I apologize for the sentiments, but you get the idea. You can find different sentiments to put on it. So this one was, yeah, a little more. I forgot, because my thing wasn't kicking in properly, I forgot to mute my computer. Yeah, this is a bit more muted, not quite so flashy. And then this one, you only get one of the sheep die, but I figured he needed a whole flock. So I gave him a whole flock of sheep, and I love it in white. Somewhere along the way, I saw somebody had made their card, and their entire card, like they cut out the major, all of the pieces, everything was white. I think on a navy background, but I saw it and thought, oh, I love that, but I never actually saved it. So no idea who. So when I started making them in all sorts of different colors. As you can see, that's how I roll. When I get a new set, I just start cutting stuff out and then start playing with it. So yeah, white was one of the first colors I cut out. And then I did cut an entire set in gold, but that was a lot of gold. Oh, look, gold blends right into my desk, doesn't it? An entire set in gold. So I was trying to find a way to make that work, but the entire set in gold was, yes, far too much gold for me. This is a card and a question all at once. So I was going for like very muted, very desert theme. And I thought, well, this works. This is very simple, humble, as it were. The Celebrate the Miracle is from the Hanukkah set. And I in no way mean no offense to anybody, and I really hope I don't offend anybody. I figured each religion has its own version of the Christmas miracle. So I'm pretty sure Celebrate the Miracle still works from a Christian card perspective. But then when I put the card together, I thought, the miracle of Hanukkah is the oil lasting 8 days. And I think, if I remember, Hanukkah is such an amazing family together celebratory holiday. The more I learned about it, the more I'm just like, what an awesome celebration. And I believe it was the Maccabees crossing the desert. So then I thought, could you actually use this as a Hanukkah card? Because I believe that was part of the story. And then it occurred to me that if there was a lantern on the card, would that make it more or less, or would that be like really inappropriate? So if anybody knows the answer to any of my questions regarding this card, I love this card. I love how like the natural colors and the muted, and but yeah, it got me wondering about how much of this works for 2 occasions. And then we made the fancy shiny card. That's what this one is, fancy shiny card. And this one is an easel card. So is it going to work? Yes, it is. So when you look at it, like, oops, I got it further down, sitting on your desk table credenza. I like the word credenza. I like to throw it in whenever possible. Credenza. Then you have this card, right? So it sits here. Let's see, like this, like an easel. And I'm going to show you how to make this card today, even though we have 7 minutes left, because yes, easel cards are that easy. So there was my other one. Like I said, I was working on more. This was as far as I got on my quilt card. I was trying to make a Christmas quilt, a nativity quilt, but it wasn't coming together like I hoped. I think I have to cut some of those pieces apart to make it work. The one big piece was not working. Oh, good Lord, I have been waiting a day and a half for the vet clinic to call me back, and guess who's phoning me right now? Okay. Gosh darn it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put these off to the side. I'll take pictures of all of these and post them later. Here we go. So I'm going to use this as my little sample. There we are. So here's your regular card, right? Regular fold card. And then you have these aren't even glued together. Look at that. Then you have a layer that goes on top of it, right? That's how you make a card. Now, to make your easel card, it is not much different than that. So I try to keep my spoilers over here so you don't see what they are. So I'm using the same card base, and all I've done is I've scored it at 2 3/4. So that takes this side is 5.5 long, like top to bottom. So I've scored it at 2.5. So now it folds up, right? So then, instead of laying flat. Now, normally if I'm making this card, I'm putting adhesive on the back of this, and I'm sticking it down onto my card, and I'm centering it. For an easel card, I would recommend putting your adhesive on the card base itself, because you do not want to go past the fold. So if you went too high on the back of your layer, you're going to go over top. And it means your card is going to stick down. The first time you put it in an envelope, it's going to stick down. And then when you pull it up, you're going to rip your card. So if you do it this way, where I just put the adhesive on the bottom half, and then I'm going to do the same thing though. I'm still going to center this exactly like I would have if this card was going to stay flat. Okay. Oops, I just made it all crooked. There we go. But I've only got adhesive on the back. So now, I guess, I mean, you could measure it out and make a line and just whatever, but it's just as easy just to put on the card base. So now we've got the part that goes down like this and up. Now, oh no, okay, we'll do the front in a minute. Okay, so we can flip this open. So to put on the inside of the card, this is where people are going to be able to write. Right there, we need to put something here that holds the easel. Now, in the case of this card, because I wanted this sentiment is a little bigger, and it's hard to see because it's blue on blue. Let me find something that's not blue. So in hindsight, in my design, I would have changed it a bit because I did put a blue border around this, but for whatever reason, when I put my card together, you can't see this blue. So I don't know, it keeps making my thing is lopsided. It's not, it's just what you can't see. So you need something that holds this up. So in the case of this one, and I could have cut this about here to be even, but I was really just kind of guessing. You need something that holds it up. So in this case, I'm taking a fair bit of this card up to put this in. So if you need to have a lot of space to write, pick a smaller sentiment. That would be that lesson. Okay, so in this case, I've already made my inside piece. I picked this little joy and peace, and I put a couple little, a little golden sheep and a little golden cow. Now, you can have this as steep as you want or as kind of lax as you want based on where you put this. Now, if I wanted to, I could put, this would be a very bad choice, but I could put a full piece of DSP here or paper or something. If this was a dark card base, I would want to make sure that I put a white piece here. This you can't write on, so don't put this piece in here, but pretend this is a dark base. Here, let's just pretend for a minute. And I'll flip this over because I happen to know it's white on the back. So if your card is dark and you need to make like room to write, make sure that this layer all goes down first. Then you need to figure out where you're going to position this layer. So if this was a navy card base, this would be perfect, right? You would put like a white layer on it, and then when you put this here, so you would still have room to write, and this would just blend right in. Because this is a white card base, I saved myself all those steps. Now I want my stuff to be even. When I made this size, I made this size on purpose to get like this to stand up. If it's really narrow, your card's going to be very flat, right? And I didn't quite want it like, or it's not really flat, it's just really chill. It's like laying back, really chill. So I didn't want it quite like that. I wanted it to be like standing up a bit more. Oh Holy Night would be probably that much. So here's what we're doing. Once you figure out where this is going to go, you have to put a bunch of adhesives on the back of this piece. This piece has to be raised up. You could, if you had big enough embellishments, you could use embellishments to hold it. I know at one point, these are old retired things, but just for example, we had these really big gems. If you had put like 3 gems there, that would hold the card up. You wouldn't have to put a sentiment at all. You could put the sentiment higher up. But unless you have something fairly large, and even with these, because they're rounded, I find that this part will hold at first, but as the more it gets open and closed and open and closed, which you can't help but do, any card that has a fancy fold, you can't help but open and close. Because of that, sometimes this edge will just start to get a little softer and they will start to slide and they won't stay. So I like the idea of like a nice big piece and then just pop it up on dimensionals. Because if it's flat, you don't have enough to catch, right? So you want nice big dimensionals. And don't cheap out and just put 2, because this is holding that whole weight of whatever you put on the front of your card up. So you definitely want to have a nice line of it. If you had the adhesive sheet, you could put like the whole thing of adhesive sheet. You could put the strips like what we used for shaker cards. Now, what I try to do when I do this, I'm not sure I can show you, but I can't actually do it on camera. So I want this to line up, right? But at the same time, move my fingers out of the way, I'm putting this here. I'm particular, so I'm trying to line up this edges, right? So that when the card is open, these line up straight along. So I have to do that where I can see. So you can't necessarily see this, but I can see where the edges are. So I'm trying to center it on the card where I want it, and I'm trying to line it up so that, there we go, so that when my card is open, my blue just sort of goes continuously, right? So that's how it sits open. And then, because now I don't have stuff flopping in my way. No, it depends. Like if I was doing this kind of a card, I could have done the entire front to begin with. But my idea with this card was a Christmas ornament. And so I didn't put any adhesive on the back of it, because I think that in the end, I'm hoping that if somebody wanted to save this cute little ornament, which you could, so these are glued down. I just put dimensionals here. And I'm thinking I can hold this ornament on with these. And then if somebody wanted to save the ornament afterwards, and not maybe not necessarily save the card, or save the card, but just hang the ornament on the tree or something, that they could just sort of pull this piece off, because it would come off pretty easily. Now, I haven't actually tried this, but I'm pretty sure, yes. I was concerned, I'm pretty sure it won't like hang cockeyed, and it doesn't. So this is the other thing you want to keep in mind. When you look at this, there's no sentiment on here. You could put something on here if you wanted to, but I know that it's about to open, and you can kind of, once it's bent once, you can kind of feel it. And I think people will just naturally figure out, oh, look, it props open. You could slip a little piece of paper in that says, this is an easel card, just tuck the front edge behind this piece. And then, you know, if you think people might, but I think people just sort of naturally come to that conclusion. But yeah, the other thing you don't want to do is when you're putting your front decorations on, like this card is probably as close to the bottom as I want to go. You don't want like too much stuff down here. You don't want a whole bunch of dimensionals or anything bulky down here, because it's just going to get in the way when it hits this sentiment. So now it will stand up. So now when I'm looking at it, I'm seeing the ornament on the tree and I'm seeing my little sentiment. And if I want, I look like this, and there's Merry Christmas, Tracy. Have a lovely one. You know, whatever's on there. And then it does fold flat. It is a little thick because of this, like, because you for sure have one big layer. So you don't want to have, as much as it pains me, you don't want to have too many layers of dimensionals here. And if you are going to have dimensionals on the front, put the dimensionals in the top half of your card, like I did. Like this is, it's not really a dimensional, it's more a bow, but I put the dimensional here because then, oops, there we go. There's dimensionals here and there's dimensionals here. So it will like help flatten it out a little bit. But if you put all your dimensionals on this side, you're paying parcel rates because you're never going to fit it through the slot. So there you go. Easel card. Easy card. So I got two easel cards. Where'd my other cards go? I got some little bit flashy, not so flashy, and then my very modest card. Now, I do have more that I'm making, and so I will probably just post pictures of them next week, because I'm going to, this weekend is our, like I said, our demonstrator event on stages tomorrow, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to play some new stuff, and I'm going to have so much fun looking at all these things. But then I'm going to finish this because I started making a whole bunch of these cards because I have a requests for some cards, and I need 12 of them total, so I have more to make. So I'm hoping that I will find the other die that I was looking for, and then some of the stars that come out of that other die are like this big. What's that? Oh, here we go. And then we have these kind of stars and these kind of stars. And if you'll remember, I happened to get a sheet of it before it sold out. We have this glimmery gold paper, and I'm thinking there's a card that's all stars in my future. I just have to find the dies to finish it. Ooh, so stay tuned for that one. Okay, remember, I'm putting the registration link out, so please register. There is a sale next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It is on ribbons, trims, inks, and papers in the annual catalog. Stuff is starting to sell out in the mini catalog, though, and it's about to, the retired list will get announced there. So if there's anything you want from there, don't wait. And I think that might be it. I think we are all caught up on our Friday catch up. Thank you guys. Have a marvelous weekend, everybody. And I'll be back here live next week, and I'll have some posts in between.